you just get going on a roll and you're super excited, you get a bunch of stuff done, and then you just need one more day of sunshine so you can put up some friggin' fascia boards. And what does it do? It pours rain on you. And then to top it all off, you forget to put all your tools away and you leave one nice little multi-master flush cutting tool that costs $300 right underneath a downspout that just pours rain on it all night. Let's hope I can dry it out and it'll still work and let's be all rusted shite. Anyways, seeing as it's pouring rain and I can't do what I planned on doing, let's spend a day in the shop just blowing minds and revolutionizing the woodworking industry once again. Okay, I had this genius idea about how to make the super easiest, cheapest, yet most functional, awesome router jig that will like make so many different tasks way faster and easier and more accurately completed. And all it requires is like a $10 piece of plexiglass. This is like 3/8 thick, approximately, plexiglass. I'm a hick. Don't know how to speak my own language. Just bear with me, okay? I got the 3/8 thick because the 1/4 inch had a little bit of flex to it. So I want something that's like rigid, right? Because you know what the problem is with routers? I like to do a lot of freehand router work, just, you know, keep it in the hands, hogging mortises and stuff out. And that can be a little intimidating to people, even myself in some situations. So you need something that gives you a really firm foundation, right? And this little rinky-dink circle here, you know, when you're trying to flatten surfaces and you're kind of balancing it on the edge of a board, it just doesn't have that like, stability, right? So we want to increase the stability, which will increase the amount of tasks that you can do freehand with a router. So I'm gonna take off this little plastic ring here, transfer the holes and stuff right into the center of this, and drill out this piece so that I can attach this right there, okay? So let's just get that thing mounted and then I'll show you the epic part of this jig. All right, step 1, take off this little base thing. Don't lose those screws, okay? Step 2, grab yourself a straight edge, find your center point. I'm gonna use a knife because I don't think a pencil is gonna work very well on plexiglass. So this is about 12-inch square. It's 1 square foot piece of plexiglass. Okay. Then you measure this little doohickey here. What's our diameter? 2 3/4. So 1 3/8. Our radius. Hopefully the pencil will mark this close enough. And we get no marcation. All right, sometimes you just gotta get resourceful here. Got a little spade bit in there. Whew, sexy. All right. So we line that up with that. Approximately. So now I'm going to drill some holes. Of course, I left my drill up at the house. All right, we're back with my drill. I'm just using a little tapered bit, countersinking bit here. Hopefully that'll do the trick. And I could do this on a drill press for more accuracy, but I'm a samurai. All right, so made a little bit of a mess, routering out that circle there. You could use a jigsaw, honestly. It's gonna be messy either way because it the plastic melts as it cuts. It stinks. Wear a respirator and all your PPE, personal protective equipment. And then bolt that sucker on. Look at that, man. Ultimately, what you're doing is creating like a router table for your hands. So now you've got such a stable surface. So say you got a piece of wood, And you want to router a tenon on the end here and flatten the cheek of a tenon, right? Like say going down, you know, 1/2 inch or whatever. Now, you've got such a stable platform on the part of the wood as opposed to as you're cutting the tenon, right? This half of the router table is not going to be registering on anything because you're cutting away that wood. But this part, you got so much connection over here that you just put your hand down on this and beep, beep. Let's just do a little test right here. See how she works, because right now this is all just theory. If you know Samurai, you know I don't give a shit about theory. I got to see the goods. Look at that. Come on. So much easier than trying to balance it on just that little tiny bit of table, right? Now, if that wasn't reason enough to go get yourself a piece of plexiglass and put it on your router, this next part's gonna melt your brain. So I'm just gonna hang this over the edge here, and then I'm gonna scribe a line around all 4 sides. Now what I'm going to do is take my drill, put the countersink bit back in, and then I'm going to drill a hole, I don't know, every 3/4 of an inch on center, all the way around the perimeter. Okay, let's do it. All right, so now we got a router with a sweet plexiglass base and a whole bunch of holes. What are the holes for, you're asking? Well, clearly, they're speed holes designed to reduce wind resistance when using a router. No, they are speed holes, but not those kind of speed holes. This is what they do. You're routering a piece of wood. Maybe it's a narrow piece of wood, and balancing the router is hard to do. Well, it's a little easier now that you got this awesome base. How do we make it even more stable? Oh, what do we want to do? Let's add a fence. We're going to throw a little fence on the side of this board that's giving us trouble. And just to make sure that we don't wander, let's add 2 fences. Because 2 fences is always better than 1 fence. At least I think so. You put this on one side, you put it on the other side, you center your bit wherever you want, and then you just go like this. Boom, locked in fence. Going nowhere, okay? You clamp the other board to it, wherever you want it. Boom, you got a hole every 3/4 of an inch. So there's just limitless options as to where you can screw that fence. And now you got a fence that's just gonna whoop, 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 slide down the board either side, doesn't matter, and then get this. All right? So you're like, oh, I need to adjust my fence for the distance to the router blade. How do I keep it parallel? It doesn't matter. It's a router, okay? You undo 1 screw like that. You keep it on your drill. You want to adjust your fence? You just go like that. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, that's where I want it right there. Okay. Another hole, line it up. Boom, just locked in. All right, then you could add your parallel fence anywhere you want. So many options. And it doesn't have to be calibrated, and it doesn't have to be parallel, and it doesn't have to sit on this guide or that guide or whatever. It's just a couple of screws and some scrap 2x4s. Come on. It doesn't get any easier than that. We all got scraps and chunks of wood laying around that make nice sturdy fences for our Super Samurai router jig. So now that I've given you the basics, let me just demonstrate how well this thing works. All right, so for instance, let's say I want to put a groove or channel down the length of this board, and I want it to be, I don't know, let's say 3/4 of an inch away from the edge. I simply push this down so I can see the blade. Unscrew one of the screws on the fence. I can adjust it away. Doesn't matter what it's square to, right? Because it's a router. Adjust it to 3/4 of an inch. Screw it back in. Release that. Put that on my piece of wood. Slide my fence down the other side because I don't want it to wander. Right? Hold her snug. Nice channel, 3/4 of an inch from the edge all the way along. It's a beautiful thing. Like, how easy was that? Because you have such a wide base, this is 12 inches wide, you can do anything up to, I don't know, anything in between that, I would say, yeah, 10 inches safely. You can screw your fence, you know, 1/2 inch away from those lines. So that gives you a 10-inch board or a 10-inch 10 by 10 post, whatever width you want to cut something in, up to 10 inches wide. That's pretty big. And that's with 2 fences. You can do, you know, a groove from the edge of any size width board or panel with just the 1 fence, right? As long as you keep good pressure on it. This is just a secondary to ensure that you don't wander, right? Extra security. All right, so other than routing grooves, routing. Hey, I'm starting to learn, you guys. It's not routering, it's routing. Good English. All right. So let's say, just for shits and giggles, I want to make a piece like this. I want to mortise and tenon into that piece, and I want a through tenon coming out the other side. This piece is going to mortise all the way through. If I was to hand cut that, drill it all out, hand saw or cut that on the table saw, it would take a long time. Let's see how long it takes with the Super Samurai jig. 10 to 1 right now. Yeah. Being able to accurately measure your depth on your bits is way easier too with this big flat table. Once you put 1 screw in, after you just kind of roughly eyeballed the depth away from the bit, just, you can swing it on that screw, right? Right about there. Clamp a little scrap piece on that end and cut onto the scrap. It won't blow out on you. I'm just rushing. That's right up to there. cedar just loves to just crush that grain. Ugh. Cruel mistress, red cedar. You are cruel I'd say that's pretty dang good for a sloppy first try. .116. With all the setup time and trying to find my router wrenches and plug in all my tools, that's like everything, all the running around and everything, that took 26 minutes. That was my first attempt using the jig at cutting a joint. Obviously those little ugly bits on the top, you know, if you were using hardwood, they would have chiseled a lot cleaner. That's probably the only negative, was that I used cedar to do my test. So come on, that's a pretty friggin' sweet jig. Am I right? Am I right? 26 minutes to cut a near perfect through tenon, first try with this new jig. So it can only get better from there as I, you know, set things up quicker and all that sort of stuff. And I was running around looking for my wrench to switch the bits in here and stuff like that. So I would like to see somebody show me how to cut a through tenon that nice with square ends faster than 26 minutes on that size, okay? A little challenge for you to see if somebody can show me a better way than my little jig that I just set up here. And what excites me the most about this is I could put it on big stock, 10 by 10 posts, 8 by 8 posts, and set up these little fences to cut super clean mortises where my through tenons are going to come through, and then I can hog out the rest with my chain mortiser from the backside where it's all going to kind of get covered. But you got to have that where the tenon comes out, right, where it's visible. That's where you got to have those sweet router crisp edges, you know? That's what I'm talking about, baby. I can't wait to use this thing in upcoming projects. If you're pumped on this jig, like I am, share this video. And if you're just coming across this video and you're meeting me for the first time, subscribe. So you subscribe to this channel right now, okay? I am here to make your life better, to bring more joy into your heart. My videos will enable you to spend more time basking in the man glitter of your wood shop and less time cursing your tools. That, and I just showed you how to make a friggin' awesome, sick joinery cutting machine for like 10 bucks. And then all you need is little scrap pieces of 2x4. Like, it doesn't get any more caveman simple than this. Yet we're getting results like this. That's what the samurai does for your life. Subscribe and share this video with somebody you know who owns a router. They'll thank you for it, and they better buy you a damn beer. All right? Till next time, samurai out! Oh yeah, and speaking of beers, I'm going for beers tonight, Friday night, at the Crooked Goose Pub at 9 p.m. So if you live in Victoria and you want to come, have the samurai buy you a celebratory beer, because I just reached 500,000 subscribers a couple days ago. Come on out, 9 o'clock, Crooked Goose Pub. All right? Make sure you follow me on Instagram, because I get pictures and you get a lot of this stuff before it's even out in video form. And if you want to get a hold of me and message me and contact me and really know what's happening in real time, check me out on Facebook. Make sure to follow the page. All right? Bye!